what about the day to day? I mean, you mentioned before, like enjoying each day and being in the moment and
Yeah.
appreciating everything. I know I'm very self-aware and I analyze myself day in, day out, hour to hour, pretty much. I psychoanalyze myself, which is great, but it also at times I can go down rabbit holes in my own head and not resurface for a couple of hours. And if I do it repeatedly over a number of periods of time, it can actually turn into something that's quite negative and it can go down into a bit of a depressed state just through
Yeah.
that over analysis. So I
Yeah.
know I've been monitoring kind of like, living week to week. I've got my kids one week and I don't have them the other week. And then the
Yep.
responsibilities of a number of businesses and team members and, getting up each day and the things that, I'm passionate about: surfing, playing golf, seeing my friends, going out for dinner. All those things are the way I recharge and I travel, and not being able
Yep.
to do that. How do I go about the fact of, appreciating each day, appreciating each moment? And my journey on it's been pretty incredible where, I've built compassion up, I've built up patience,
Yes.
I've built up understanding for other people, and I've just let progress, progress or results and achievements have kind of taken a backward step, yet the progress and achievements have happened anyway. And I'm kind of like, how did that happen? Um,
Yeah.
so how do we each day enjoy the moment? I mean, do we have to shift our reward systems? Like sometimes you've got a task to do and you go, once I've done this task, I'm going to go do this. I might go for a run or whatever it might be. How do we change?
Yeah.
Do we need to change our reward systems during these times? And how so?
I think we do. Absolutely. And I think the examples that you spoke about is actually making the investment, making the priorities, and focusing on yourself first. And I think that goes back to my original point a couple of questions ago about getting yourself right. I think if you're not in the right position yourself, it's very hard as a leader to make sure that everything's going to be on track with your team.
Yeah.
Um,
How
just
do you know?
just know it.
How do you know when you're right?
Oh, that I don't know if there's a formula to that.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, you know how you just wake up some days and just go, I'm not feeling that buzz, or something's not feeling right. I need to go for that surf, or for me, I just need to listen to a little bit of music, or
Yeah.
you may have attended something and it didn't necessarily go your way, and just go, you know what, I'm just going to go for a walk, or I'm going to go for a run. I think for me, the first stage of lockdown, I was eating probably a little bit too much, if I'm honest. And in this second stage, I just went, I'm going to buy a sports watch. I'm going to start running a little bit more. By no means am I a fitness person. That persona group does not fit with my body image
You
or
look
who I
fit.
am.
You look fit.
Oh, thank you, because it's neck up. But I think for me, it's all about, if I'm going to go for a run, I'll start at 500 meters. Then the next bit, I'll start at 1K. And if I'm not going to look at how long I'm running for, I'm not going to look at my lap times. I'm not going to compare myself to someone else. I'm just going to do what's comfortable for me. And what I've seen is, I put some tunes on, I go for a bit of a run, and before you know it, now I'm running for 50, 60 minutes and without really looking at my watch. Whereas when I started, I was like, I need to get, 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute Ks.
Yeah.
And then my shins were getting really sore. But
Yeah.
but
So
it
it's the
wasn't about
mind.
how
The
fast I was
mind.
running. It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mind, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, and
Um,
then, yeah. And then
and,
how
and
have
then
you
the
found the
last,
flow with? How have
oh,
you found the flow with running when you're in that state when you just start? I don't know. I find like I forget about time and you just go into
yeah.
dreamland and consciousness land. Do you find that with running? You go into your
I,
conscious?
I, I do.
Yeah.
And I like data and analytics as well. Sometimes I'll go for a run without music and I'll
Yeah.
just see how am I going? What's my flow like?
Yeah.
And then I'll listen to a different type of music and I just find that I can run a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm in that moment where I've gone, wow, I've actually run for 50 minutes and I feel like I can go for another 50. And quite often I think it's the music, it's the sun, it's the temperature, it's the ambience, it's running outside, it's seeing other
Yeah.
people outside going for a run too. And I'm like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, and the purpose of getting fit is kind of out the door. I think I'm actually becoming mentally a lot fitter rather than physically. Whereas the initial goal was, I'm putting on weight, let's go for a run. But it's kind of evolved into that, interestingly enough. And
Incredible.
look, I hear a lot of stories about meditation and doing a lot of that. I've tried it. It hasn't necessarily worked for me, but I think I'm learning how to do it.
Yeah.
A couple of nights ago, I was up until really, really late and tossing and turning. I couldn't sleep, and I just went, bit of YouTube, headphones on, a guided meditation, which went for 15 minutes. I think I was asleep. I wake up in the morning and the headphones were still in. I'm like, well, that was a great meditation, because I was tossing and turning. I couldn't sleep, and just listening to someone guide me through something, I don't know what the words are. It just allowed me just to relax and sleep. And whatever was on my mind, I just wrote down on a pen and paper and left it in the kitchen. And I just went, well,
Yeah.
that's out of my mind now. It's time for me to rest and rejuvenate, give that back to me.
Mm.